What is going on, everybody? Episode 135, back-to-back days of podcasting. What's going on, dude?
Not much. Back-to-back days. I love it. There's so much to talk about, honestly, right now with D1s coming up here. And we got 2 commitments today. So I'm pretty excited about that. I love finding out where these guys are going to school. I love when there's people in the state are going to continue wrestling and go to college and keep wrestling. So I have no idea where they're going. I'm very excited to find out, though. I have a couple guesses, but
It's such a fun game because I know where they're going because I put the graphic in and make sure everything's ready, but you never know. I get the inside scoop.
I don't even want to make a guess because if I guess wrong, then it's like, so.
Because Cash is he's decommitted. He was previously committed to Eau Claire.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Well, hear about
But
that.
I guess it's not there.
Yeah. But no, the college commits are awesome. I like hearing about the recruiting process. It's different for everybody. What are they looking for? Some people want to go far away. Some people want to stay close. But we love doing them. So if anyone else is in the process of making a decision or plans on doing that, hit us up. We'd love to be a part of it. But D1s kick off tomorrow. They start up at 11 a.m. I don't know why that says 11 p.m. That was taken from the NCAA website.
Is that Central Time, Jake, or is that
Yes.
Eastern Time?
That's actually really interesting. Yes, it's Central. I copied this from the NCAA website. I don't know if they realize they have 11 p.m. But 11 a.m. tomorrow, action kicks off. I think it's Shane Sparks and
it's some new guys, not Trent Hidley.
It's Northwestern. Mike McMullen, Northwestern heavyweight runner-up. He lost a ton of weight. He's skinny now. I'm excited to hear him on the call. I loved Trent Hidley on the call last year with Shane.
I thought he did great.
He was a natural.
Yeah.
Man, I would say Trent is up there to top 6 wrestling commentators for me.
I can tell you some people that I like him better than who have been doing it and still are doing it. I can tell you that very much. Yeah. I like him a lot. I like who's man, I don't want to mess up his name. Is it who's the guy that does him with Shane? Is it Jimmy?
Jim Gibbons.
Jim Gibbons. I like him a lot.
And then TJ, I think they call him Tim Johnson. Dude, that trio right there, give me that every day of the week.
Yeah.
Some of the most historic Big Ten duels growing up. You hear those voices, and then Shane's now a part of it. But it's crazy that Shane is literally usually you work for a company and you stick with them. But he's Flow, Big Ten, ESPN. He's all over the place. He's doing everything.
He's a big-time commentator, so you got to share him.
Yeah, he does.
Also, we were talking about this the other day. His name's not Shane?
Well, his name's Shane, but his last name's not Sparks.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a TV
I didn't know that. Yeah, clever. Very smart.
I think his last name starts with an N. It's like Shane. But
He's
no.
The man,
I would love to hear how he came up with that. Shane Sparks. It's the perfect TV name.
Good. He's a smart man.
Shane Sparks. I just saw an interview with him with Jimmy Bratz. JB takes or wrestles or whatever. He's always just so electric. I love the energy. But when asked about 133 pounds, he didn't give an answer. I was like, come on, Shane, give us something. He said, you're going to have to win the 7 minutes. I was like, oh, my gosh. But
he doesn't make picks, does he? He never makes picks.
No, not really. I mean, it makes sense. He's kind of just a neutral commentator. He probably can't interject too much on it. But very excited for the action tomorrow. There is a whole slew of individuals competing with Wisconsin ties. 15 Wisconsin natives take the mat tomorrow, representing a whole variety of colleges.
These are just the natives, huh?
These are just the natives, and we got more Badgers in there. We mentioned it yesterday. Per capita, we are number 3 behind Pennsylvania and I don't know who's in number 2. Yeah, I'm curious who's number 2. Probably a New Jersey or
Ohio, maybe? Or are we ahead of Ohio?
I don't know. But man, I mean, there's just so much firepower. Super excited to watch all these guys compete. At 125
New
pounds,
Jersey. New
New
Jersey.
Jersey.
PA's got 3.64. New Jersey 2.95. Wisconsin 2.52. Ohio's fourth 2.36 per capita.
Gotcha.
It's the qualifiers. What's going on here?
Run through these names real quick. We got Cash coming on first, correct? And then Christopher.
No.
Christopher's first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll have those on at some point. But
yeah.
125 pounds, Rivera is the 23 seed. Millard out of Minnesota at 157 pounds is your 21st seed. Meckler, also at 157, is the 17 seed. Another Wisconsin native, so we got 3 natives at 157.
Mm-hmm.
We got Drexler of NDSU as the 28
Returning
seed.
AA.
Returning AA. It's crazy. Returning AA down at the 28 seed. Fugit is a low seed.
What was he, the 22, the 24, something like that before?
Yeah. Dude, and we'll go through the brackets in a second, but man, where you get placed in there is like, it's just crazy how that stuff works out. And then you think of like a guy like a Sinclair's a 2, but he's going to have Ferrari in the quarters, like chaos. Mitchell Messenbrink, is he the biggest lock ever? He's beaten Caliendo 8 times.
I don't think, as far as good as, I don't think he's considered the biggest lock ever. You had guys
biggest lock this year, for sure.
Well, yeah, but I think we've learned now between Spencer Lee and Gable Stevenson that there is no such thing as a lock.
But
because those guys are probably the biggest locks of all time, and neither of them won. Not once, but twice in recent years. He's probably the heaviest favorite of the tournament, would be my thought. Because who else would it be if it was coming from Penn State?
You would, well, if you say there, I would say there's 2 people. You've got
Jesse Mendez
and Messenbrink, but Messenbrink's the only one that has 100% bonus. I don't believe Mendez bonused Hardy in the finals of Big Tens, but it was a dominant win. But yeah, but there is a whole slew of natives at 165 pounds. You've got Messenbrink as the 1 seed. You've got returning AA, Matty Bianchi, the 8 seed, who had a wild card, which is crazy. Scholes is your 17 seed. Mulvaney is your 19 seed. And then Cody Gable for Wisconsin is the 28 seed. So a lot of Wisconsin, 5 total athletes in 165 pounds. Aiden Sinclair is your 2 seed. Up at 197, Devin Wasley of NDSU is your 22nd seed. Wyatt Ingham also at 197, he's your 20 seed. And then Cade Rule out of Chattanooga, he is your 30 seed. And then at heavyweight, we've got Mirasola as the 9 and Hopke as the 14. So there's a lot of Wisconsin competing tomorrow. Of this list, is there anyone that like super excited to watch? We'll dive more into the brackets and stuff, but like just quick thoughts.
Well, I mean, Sinclair, I'm very excited to watch. Knowing he's going to be in some of these big time matches, it's I'm just really excited to see that. I'm in one of those fantasy league things where you do a snake draft.
Yep.
With 10 people. Cole Mirasola is on my team. So I would have wanted to watch him anyways, but excited. Wyatt Ingham, I haven't looked at like his, and I know we're going to get into it a little bit more. I haven't looked at his path too in depth of like the backside specifically, because I do think he'll be on the backside at some point. But he's a guy where, depending on what his path is, he's a guy that the longer he gets into the tournament, the tougher he's going to be, I think. He's just a guy to keep an eye on. Even though he's a redshirt freshman, even though he's a low seed, I think he could be exciting. But it's all about the path a lot of the times. Unless you go savage mode after you lose as a returning champ.
He wins his first one, which I think he could against Bennett Berge, 16-5, 13 seed.
He's still a tough guy.
He's tough.
Yeah. I mean, he's 13 seed. Yeah. So, but I think he could win that as well.
And then that next matchup would be Colton Hawks, old teammate of mine. He's at ASU now, and then Sonny Sasso of VT, who's very tough. Colton Hawks, 7-9 record is deceiving. He was a world team member a couple years ago. That dude can scrap.
Can he win against either of those guys? I feel like unless you're like one of those top guys,
I think he could pull it out.
He has enough offense to win a lot of matches, I think. But it's
Yeah.
the consistency of the offense, the finishing. Yeah.
I mean, you look at like
He's a guy that I look at where it's like dark horse upset, like he could make some moves, and he also couldn't. That's why he's seated where he's at.
I mean, I haven't looked too deep into this, but like you look at like a Camden McDaniels, the 11, he's got a lot of losses, Big Ten schedule, but then like a Stephen Little, 2 losses, he's a 3. Sasso with 5 losses, he's the 4. I don't quick looks. I mean, I don't hate this spot in the bracket. What was the score with it was Geog and Wisconsin wrestled Ohio State. Geog won, but
I don't think that was a good one. I don't think he had a good match there, right? Like I'm pretty sure Geog. Maybe I'm checking.
And
Geog,
Wasley opens up with McDaniel.
what
Daniel's tough. He looked good. He turned it on at Big Tens. But
what the?
what?
I don't know. My Russell stats being crazy right now.
Would not be a good time for Russell Stat to have problems.
Okay. Here we go. Wyatt Ingham. Him and Geog. Yeah, 16-3. I didn't think that was a very good match, yeah. He got beat up.
Geog's tough. Definitely tough.
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude. I think he's St. Ed's guy too. Okay. Well, that's while we're waiting for these commits, you just want to run through the brackets, just look at natives where they're at, quick thoughts.
Yeah.
See what we're working with. I'm gonna say who I think's winning each bracket, just cause. But 125 pounds, you got Little Dolls the 1. I gotta find where our boy Rivera is. Rivera sits down at the 23. He opens up with Mark Anthony McGowan of Princeton, 15-6. If he gets out of that one, he'll either have Nick Provo, the 7 seed, or Cooper Flynn, the 26 seed. I know you went through and did like kind of an initial reaction to the brackets. If you guys haven't seen that, go check it out. But what are your overall thoughts on 125 pounds?
Man, I can't see crap. Who's the 1 seed there? Luke Lilladall?
Lilladall.
I think he's kind of the guy. I think Lilladall's I just can't see anybody on top half beating him.
Eddie Ventresca.
Oh yeah, Virginia Tech. Man, my overall thoughts. I don't remember them anymore.
Yeah.
So this feels fresh to me. I think Nikolai's had such an up and down season that I know how dangerous he can be. But we just haven't really seen it this year. And I think winning 1 or 2 matches is probably where he's going to be at. I would happily be wrong. Like, I would be happy to be wrong. But I just, like, I don't think we're going to see a blood round run or All-American run from him based off of how, like, what we've seen from him this year. He's had, like, little moments where, like,
yeah,
okay, that's him. But I feel like there's been more of the moments of like, you know, that's not his best.
So I also feel like, go ahead.
Yeah, you're good.
I just feel like the way he wrestles sometimes is a little sporadic, and like we talked about like a guy like a Meckler last week or 2 weeks ago. It's like that style, very workman-like, stays in position. He can make that backside run, but we've seen like the burst of energy. It's a little too sporadic, and I don't know if a weight is an issue. We've seen those matches where he looks super fresh, and then we see a match like at Minnesota or Wisconsin Bucknell where like comes out super hot, but just can't last that full 7 minutes. You got to be able to not just last in that match. You got to pair together a few of them, especially.
So I think it's interesting because you think like they have 2 different styles, both work for them. Between like a Beckler and Nikolai. But a guy like Nikolai, if he is hot, it's like you don't want to, like, it doesn't matter who you are, you don't want to wrestle him.
Yeah.
You don't want to, if he's rolling, because of the way he can score points. It's just that we haven't really seen it this year, so I'm not going to predict it to all of a sudden happen now in the biggest tournament. So yeah, but I'd love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong, I'll tell you that.
Who do you think wins this weight?
Lilladall. Yeah.
Lilladall.
I don't. You know, we're always writing down these picks, but you never post the results of the picks.
Well, I'm going to do it this time. I did think about that the other day, though. But it's crazy though that the returning national finals was going to happen in the quarters. That's nuts. 125 is always chaos because you
Who was
got
in the finals
Robin.
last year?
It
Lucas
was
Bird and
that's 33. You got
okay.
Robinson of NC State and
Oh yeah, Boomer.
Spratley.
Yeah.
And Robinson's the 12 and Spratley's the 5, and that's gonna be a quarterfinal matchup. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But Lil Dahl, yeah,
Man, Robinson wins that. Watch out, honestly,
dude.
because
If
if he wins
Robinson
that,
goes on,
that's what he won it before, so it feels like he's gonna win that again. And then at that point, he's in the semis and he's rolling. Like, just watch out coming from.
we beat Spratley, he'd have either the 4 seeds Seymour or Poulin, who's tough, and then he would take on Lil Dahl. That'd be
The
a
Mohawk's back.
crazy run. The
Watch out
Mohawk
for
is
you, run.
back.
If the
That
Mohawk's there, watch out for the run.
that is, man. It's funny to think that just that video is so viral and so famous, and then full circle moment. But we've got a guest waiting in the green room. We'll get him added in here, and we will get to chatting with him, get him loaded in.
Yeah, hey, there we go. What's
Hey
up, Will? How are
guys,
you?
doing good.
So, all right. So those that are watching, he's not yet, but shortly here, Mr. Will Christopher, New London High School, I believe 57-0 undefeated state champion
Woo!
this year. King of Wisconsin champion as well. He's gonna make his college commitment. But Will, first question I have for you. I know Jake and I have a few. What has the recruiting process been like for you? What's kind of your experience? You know, you're making your commitment after the season. Some guys do it before, some guys do it after. Why did you decide to wait? What's it been like for you?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster. It really has, and you know, I honestly going from a 24-17 freshman to now an undefeated state champ is still pretty unbelievable to me. But you
Yeah.
know, I guess the big thing is, you know, recruiting wise, not many schools reached out to me, and you know, I kind of had faith in myself that, you know, like, I'm one of these years it's gonna happen. I'm gonna have a good year, and you
Mhm.
know, schools are gonna reach out, and I know it. I'm just gonna give it time. You know, not only is this 4 years of wrestling, but this is 4 years of, you know, my life. So, and the degree, or you know, all of that stuff, so you know, the right academics for me and things like that. So I took everything into account and took it very seriously. And you know, there was some visits that I wanted to take after season. It was a
Sure.
little hard to take in season, but I mean, you know, it was definitely on my priority list of getting it done and checked off the list.
You talked about your freshman year. You were 24-17, and then obviously you finished this year undefeated. What
That's
do you think
crazy.
the biggest? It is crazy. What do you think like the biggest changes in your wrestling kind of led you to be able to have that growth, or you know, what was it? Is there anything you can attribute it to? Whether it was practice, you know, what allowed you to get to where you are?
It was just staying consistent. And you know, it gets annoying and bothering when, you know, you're freshman, both in overtime, to not make it to state. And you know, you hear it from your coaches and everyone. They just say, you just got to trust the process, you just got to trust the process. And you're like, yeah, you know, like, you know, I'm working, I'm
Process
trying. But
sucks, though.
yeah, yeah. Hey, it's been a journey, you know, and it's, you know, it feels like a real kick in the butt. But I mean, it's honestly unbelievable that, you know, if you would have told me going into November that I was going to be an undefeated state champ, I would have never ever believed you in a million years. But it just shows, you know, staying consistent, getting in the room as much as you can. You know, freestyle Greco. You know, got to stay on that. Got to stay on that big time. I think that's really big. Getting that off season wrestling in, and you know, it was a lot of exposure, especially overseas trips and things like that.
Mhm.
Um, but you know, I put my life into it. You know, I really worked hard for it because I really wanted it. So.
Well, you've I got one more here, Jake. You know, again, you've mentioned right there freestyle and Greco. You're known a little bit as a Greco guy. Where did that passion come from to you know, really dive into the Greco side of things? Because right now it's a lot of freestyle here in Wisconsin.
It
You've got
is.
obviously got some deep Greco roots, but where did that come from for you?
Of course, Jason Kleinschmidt's my Greco coach, and he's my man
Yeah.
for everything, And I think it was in 8th grade. I only started wrestling in 6th grade, and he introduced me to freestyle Greco in 8th grade, and that's when he was gonna take everyone on a Sweden trip. And
Mhm.
I had never wrestled a Greco match in my life, and I went over there, and I've never gotten whooped up so bad. But
Hmm.
it was something like, I think I could be good at this, and I just kept going. And my
Mhm.
sophomore year, I go into Fargo. I'm like, well, maybe I can, get a few wins. And next thing I know, I'm on the podium. So
Mhm.
that was a big motivator, especially going from not making to state to being on the
Yeah.
Fargo podium. It's a big motivator. So I think, I kept up with that. And training overseas, those guys are tough, real
Oh
tough.
yeah.
And it's just like, it's different because we switch back and forth, and we're going folk style, and then we have to get back into Greco, or you're in Greco and now you have to get back into folk style, which was probably always my hardest, moving back into, because I always went upper body. I went to the Luther and Pointer Open this year, and all I was doing was throwing lat
Hmm.
drops all over the lawn.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jake.
What style do you like the best?
You know, I still gotta give it to Greco. I love it. I
Okay.
love it. It's fun. I mean, it's nice because I don't feel dead after a full 6 minutes. And I'm not saying that's not draining. It is. It gets tiring, but
Yeah.
it's it's fun. And when you can go big, you can go big. So.
Do you have plans to compete this spring and summer, or kind of what does your schedule look like coming up before you make that transition to college?
Yep. No, U.S. Open's next, so
Heck yeah.
training for that. The goal is to get on the podium, and I fell a little bit short of that last year, and especially in Fargo, losing in the blood. So, I want to get it done this year. I
Are
feel
you,
like if I can do it, so.
are you planning on doing like the full slate of U.S. Open, Junior Duels, Fargo? Like if you can, are you planning to do all that?
Yeah, so it was a really tough decision. I'm going to do freestyle and Greco State. I wanted to
Mhm.
do junior duels, but Kleiny is doing a trip to Georgia to
Mhm.
train at the Olympic Training Center there.
Okay.
So I think this year junior duels is out of the picture, and I'm gonna be getting. I think the main goal right now is getting back on the Fargo podium, and
Mhm.
hopefully do some damage out there.
Yeah, yeah, team music for sure. Well, we'll have a few more questions for you after, but I know there's a lot of people here wanting to find out where you're committing. I have no idea where you're committing. Jake does.
The
We talked about this when we opened the show. Jake saw the graphic. I have no idea. I tried to get it from you at on Sunday at King of Wisconsin. You wouldn't tell me. You would not tell me. I tried to poke at you
Yeah.
and get the answer. So please tell everybody where are you going to be committing to college.
Well, for the next 4 years, you'll be catching me at Minnesota State University of Moorhead.
Okay,
Woo!
NSIC. Congratulations. All right. That's a D2 program in the NSIC. Um, obviously in Minnesota, I know them well. Okay. I'm glad I didn't make a guess because I wasn't gonna guess there. I didn't know they're on the radar. Good school though. It's a good school to pick. Congratulations. Well, what made you decide to go there?
It was a little bit like on a whim. I wouldn't say that, but of course it took consideration. But there
Yeah.
was Doan reaching out to me. They have a really good folk style and Greco program over there, and all of that. And but they got Caden Steffen now, the
Mm-hmm.
new assistant coach. It's his first year really recruiting,
Beast
and
in Greco.
you know
He's a
yeah.
beast.
Yeah, he is, and he's looking for a lot of freestyle Greco guys. I mean, I don't know if I'm spilling any beans right now, but he wants to they're starting a Dragon Wrestling Club, an RTC
Sure.
over
Yeah.
there. So
Heck yeah.
they're gonna help me a lot with my Greco goals as well. And I think there's not many Wisconsin guys over there, but I think you'll be seeing a few of them these
Yeah.
next upcoming years. So hopefully we can get on that train. And I've always loved to be on a team where that has potential, and I can see it with these new coaches, with the way the program's looking and everything. I'm super pumped to see where this could go.
Yeah, congratulations. And I mean that conference that you're going to be joining is as elite as it gets. In Division 3, that's like the WIAC. In Division 1, it's like the Big 10. It's you guys in St. Cloud and Mankato, Parkside, Augustana. I mean that is an elite conference you're joining. That's a good team to go to. You did say earlier that Greco is still your favorite. So I thought there might have been an option or a possibility that you were going to go to a Greco only school. What made you decide to continue with folk style instead of solely just going on Greco?
Well, I think it was a lot of, at the beginning of the season, it was for sure that. I'm going to tell you, it was really between NMU or Doane, which both have started great Greco programs, and I love the coaches so much. They got a lot going on over there. I think it was really just, just the jumps from last
Seeing
year
the
to this
success.
year, and I'm seeing my potential, and
Mhm.
I really want to see how far I can take it, and
Yeah.
of course, there's goals in Greco still. That isn't over yet, and I'm still going to be
Yeah.
pushing to make those podiums. And world team is definitely high on the list. But I see myself doing some damage in the D2 level as well. So
Yeah, I think you. I think you made a great pick. I think folk style is the way to go there. Um, yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm definitely going to be keeping up with you in your career going forward. Man, that's awesome. Congratulations, Jake. I
thank
don't know if
you.
you had any final things that you wanted to say.
No, just congrats and thanks for doing it on the show, dude.
Of course. Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, King of Wisconsin, man, right there. Will Christopher, thank you. Congratulations, Will.
Woo!
Thank you. See you guys.
See ya. Dang, I didn't
Heck
see
yeah.
that coming. That's pretty sweet.
That's badass.
That's sweet. Is he
I
gonna start a
think
little pipeline over the border there to Minnesota?
yeah. It's cool when it's cool that he's going to continue to do both styles because I think there's just like having the ability to go compete at a national championship and travel with your boys and do all those things that you get to do on that season and being able to compete in a conference with rivals and stuff like that. So,
I
but
think he's gonna be
man,
really happy that he decided to do that. Yeah.
that I love those stories of freshman, sophomore year doesn't go the way you want it, not a great record, and you just stay the course. And man, I can think of so many guys like that, and obviously see the guys that have those really crazy careers throughout. But you never know when it's going to be your time. It takes that one match, that one tournament, and then boom. But super
Very
excited for him.
rewarding. Very rewarding. You see it from a different perspective. You didn't have all the success for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got another guest ready.
He's on right away
He's in
too.
the green room. He's ready to get added in.
Okay,
We
let's
got
do it.
back-to-back commitments. I know these guys are in school and stuff, so we'll get them in. But
Oh yeah, cutting class. We're cutting class.
boom.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Or Cash Bodian from Hortonville. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you guys?
Doing good.
I'm good. I love it. I love that we got back-to-back guys. I can't wait to find.
This is the first time I've ever done back-to-back.
I know another guy that I don't even know where he's going. So man, this is a good day. This is a real good day. Cash, first I gotta ask. You had it. Jake says this all the time. People have different recruiting paths. They have different recruiting journeys. You're obviously committed to a different school previous, and you have a new commitment. You had decommitted there. What was your recruiting journey like? What nothing about the old school, but why did you essentially open up your recruiting again and look for a different home?
My process was super like it wasn't ordinary. Going into high school, you would have never I would have never thought I was gonna wrestle in college. I didn't enjoy the sport really.
Yeah.
I dreaded going to practice probably up until about 8th grade year. Like I would literally cry. My dad would yell at me on the way there because I'd be crying, not wanting to go to practice. But it started freshman year. I had a decent freshman season. I was still D3, so people didn't look out that much. But I had a decent freshman season, and I kind of started thinking like, hey, I am starting to enjoy this, and I kind of want to wrestle at the next level. Obviously, you can't talk to colleges that much freshman year, but I was already like going on their websites. I was submitting like the
Right.
recruit me forms. Then sophomore year after state was, or it was in like June when I had the first school reach out, and it was UW Lacrosse. And really, I had Lacrosse and Platteville were the first two schools that reached out to me, and I was just trying to like it was a lot of stress with the process, and part of the reason I committed so early to Eau Claire. But
Yeah.
then I figured out kind of after, I mean, I had a pretty good state tournament. I didn't achieve what I wanted, obviously, but I made the state
Yeah.
finals. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, I realized that committing so early kind of shut myself off from a bunch of opportunities that I could have had.
Mm-hmm.
So I had first it was St. Cloud State reach out to me before state, um, kind of let me know they had an offer on the table. So it kind of got me thinking, like, hey, I think I deserve to not have as much college to pay for, and I deserve to have a good opportunity to go and wrestle at a high
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
No shame to Eau Claire. I have nothing but love for Coach Carroll, Coach Fader, Coach Kirker, Coach Karkula. All those guys are great people, and I have nothing but props for them, and they got a great program going. Um, but it kind of, and then I had a couple D2 schools reach out, and they're all throwing some money at me, and I'm like, shoot, this looks pretty nice. Like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get through college without any loans. It's gonna be
Yeah.
pretty cool. And so that kind of led to me decommitting, and I'm glad Eau Claire was super open. They were super like appreciative of being able to like have me for as long as they did, and I'm glad with the relationships I built with them. Part of the reason it was so hard to decommit and it was such a hard choice for me is I'm big on relationships with my coaches, and I had such a great relationship built up with those coaches that it was hard, but it was a choice I needed to make for my future, and
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
you
the
talked
rest is
about
history.
Well, so I mean, you went from, as you said, crying to go to practice to now choosing to wrestle in college. Where do you think that where did that love come from? That all of a sudden it turned around where you're like, I really like the sport. Was it in just finding success, or was it something else that you found that you're like, man, I really do love wrestling? Because as like as a fan and a spectator of watching you wrestle and getting to know you over the past couple of years, I would personally say that like I feel like you are a guy that like loves wrestling. Just getting to know you, you talk about it all the time. You're always just anything wrestling. You're always down to scrap. Like where did that passion come from that you said that you didn't have before?
I think a lot of it was like not even during freshman year. I still kind of like I was cutting a lot of weight and I just didn't enjoy it that much. But Coach Johnson over at Mano, I still have a great relationship with him. He's starting up his own club, 9-2 Grappler. If you guys are in the New London, Appleton area, don't be scared to go him. He's a great coach. But Coach Johnson was able to connect with me really well and kind of I guess I wasn't going in the right direction freshman year, and he was able to kind of redirect that ship, and kind of like make me fall in love with becoming a better person and a better wrestler in general. And when I made the transfer decision to Hortonville, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to leave because he was still teaching in Manawa. I'm like, hey, like I really don't want to leave you. And he literally forced me out the door to get me a better opportunity and a fresh start. He's like, you don't need to be here. You need to go somewhere and succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of pushed me out the door, and honestly, I came to Hortonville, and I couldn't be any like more appreciative. This community is amazing, and I honestly give most of my love to the community of Hortonville because they're so bought into wrestling, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
just so easy to fall in love with the sport here. My
yeah.
practice partner for for sophomore and junior year, Nolan Skiba, he helped me not only fall in love with the sport and becoming good, he helped me with like falling in love with the weight cut. He helped me like with my faith. I mean, I would not be where I am with my faith without Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad for that every day. I'm so appreciative. Will, shout out Will. Will's my literal best friend, my ride or die. You'll catch us together probably every day. Um, he helped him, Mikey Ciancio, all three of us. We just kind of fell in love with the process together, and we're wrestling every day, just talking about wrestling all the time, and it just clicked. And honestly, like I don't know, it was just something special that happened.
You're a guy that obviously isn't afraid to let it fly as well. Sorry, Jake, I'm kind of probably cutting you
Very
off.
good.
One of the things I do like about watching you wrestle is, hey, if you feel it, like
Go.
Yeah, you'll go and you'll send it. Where does that fearlessness come from your wrestling? Like where it's very entertaining to watch, and I do appreciate it. As good as positioning and basics that you do clearly have. You are still not afraid to just let it rip. Where does that come from?
I mean, honestly, it probably comes from growing up through the aviators room and wrestling freestyle Greco all the time. Because I honestly, in middle school, if you watch me wrestle, I did nothing but lat drops, and that's all I hit. And I, I pray about it. If you search up my name on Huddle, I have my Manuel Huddle profile because that's where we did our film through, and every highlight on there is just lat drops because it's all I did. Like honestly, I became good at it. And it's all I did. And I don't know. It's just like my style. I like going out there and I like putting on a show. I like the oohs and ahs.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, like it was even cool. Kind of against me in the state finals. I got put to my back right away, and just hearing the close center erupt, I'm like, even though I'm on my back, this is cool. Like
Yeah.
everyone's getting a show right now. So I don't know. I like letting it fly. It's fun. I mean, probably comes from my Greco background. I haven't had the success Will has in Greco, but we wrestle Greco all the time together. So I mean, you watch me and Will wrestle, like wrestling together all the time. But I don't know. I like putting on a show.
Yeah. So, Jake, you can ask after. Without further ado, Cash, where are you going to be committing to college? Where are you? I'm excited to find this out. Where are you heading to college, man?
1 second.
Okay. All right.
Classic.
Gotta get the t-shirt change.
For the
Jake,
next
you know
4 or
who's
5
doing
years, I'll be wrestling with Will at Minnesota State Moorhead.
This worked out really well. All right. Congratulations, Cash. 141, 149,
I'm nothing but blessed for the opportunity that Coach Stefan has given me and Coach Nelson. And blessed for the opportunity to wrestle with my best friend for 4 more years. So, Coach Stefan and Coach Nelson, since my first call with them, it was kind of ironic. They had a slideshow for me, and they put on there their top 3 character traits. And I always pride myself on my heart and my love for the sport of wrestling and my grit. Team sectionals this year, week before state, I dislocated my kneecap mid-match. And I just got gritty. I won the match. I went out, made the state finals on a dislocated kneecap. So grit, heart, those were two of their main things. And I'm like, shoot, that lines up perfectly. That's what I'm going to tell everyone my best traits were, even if I didn't see the slideshow. So it was really cool. I connected with Coach Stefan really well. I'll probably go out hunting with him when I'm out on campus.
there we go.
He's just a great guy, great personality. I love to be around him. Love talking to him. So
Yeah. Was that okay? I actually didn't realize. I do see what it looks like. A bit of a coincidence that 2 guys same day both committed. I didn't realize that, but I'm happy to see it. So, was Will going there then part of like your reasoning for wanting to go there? Was that like a heavy influence as well?
So actually, Will went on his visit there, and he's like, dude, these coaches were talking about you, and like, it was kind of ironic because, me and Will have a video after he won his state finals match. I literally sprinted down the Kohl Center and gave him a hug as he walked off the mat. Just like it's just a relationship we have where we just want to see each other succeed. So they were telling the coaches that story, and the coaches are like, hey, like we know that kid, and we want him. We like want him.
Yeah, we'd like him to come too.
So I'm like, well, why don't you give me Coach Stefan's number and I'll hit him up? And I'm like, dude, we can do something crazy here, and we could go to school together for the next 4 years because we don't go to school together right now. So like we got this relationship by not going to school together. I'm like, imagine when we're wrestling every single day with high level coaches and going to school together. I'm going there. So it's kind of a mutual thing. We're like, Will committed probably 3 days because I announced my commitment to them a couple days ago. Will committed couple days beforehand, and I said, shoot, let's do it.
That's awesome. Congratulations, man. That's yeah. I mean, again, you guys are joining the NSIC. It's an elite conference. You're gonna have a lot of fun going there. Jake, I'll let you hop in here. One more question for Cash.
Oh yeah. Will was talking about a little freestyle Greco this upcoming year. He's heading out to the Open. What do you got planned before you get out to college? Any events, training? What's on the schedule for you?
Yeah. So I'm probably more into freestyle. and then Willis, because he focuses a lot on Greco. Not that I don't too. I love my Greco, but I'll be wrestling at the WI duels. Shout out you guys
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
Team
there we go.
Nazar. We're gonna have a scary team. Watch out. We're gonna
Always a solid
light it
team.
up.
Always.
Then Greco Freestyle State. I plan on wrestling at Greco National Duels for the 3rd year in a row. It's always a fun experience out there. Super fun.
Yeah, in Milwaukee,
Um,
right? No.
yeah, and it's in Milwaukee. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And then Fargo, and then focusing on folk style and going to win a national title.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
Loaded slate.
Congratulations, man. Yeah, That's awesome. All right, another guy heading over. Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations, Cash. Thank you for taking the time to join us. If you have anything else that you wanted to say, please feel free.
Hey, I want to shout out all my coaches. Coach Genrick, he's the head coach here in Hortonville. I'm gonna argue with the wall. He's the best in the state. He went through this experience with Eric Barnett. Eric was committed to North Carolina. He decommitted, went to Wisconsin. So when I was making the decision to decommit from Eau Claire, Coach Genrick just helped me through that process tremendously. I'd like to thank Coach Nazar and Coach Trevor Potratz, my 2 main club coaches. They're also the best in the business. Coach Potratz has a small club, but he's genuinely probably the best technician I've talked to. Coach Nazar, he's the GOAT, if we're being so for real.
They rock.
I want to thank, good thing we got a camera. I want to thank the Hortonville Wrestling Program and this nice room
That's
we
a
got.
nice room.
I'm going to argue probably the best in the state. We got 4 mats. It's amazing. The opportunity I had to train here and just the community. They back the wrestling program and it shows. So
yeah,
I'd like to thank them. I'd like to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to be on this podcast because it's something, once again, I'd never dream of being on this podcast when I was coming into high school. So
we did do shit.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Dude. Congratulations. I'm excited to watch you guys. Selfishly, it makes it easier for me to follow along with you and Will's career. I pay attention to NSIC a pretty decent amount, so it'll be easy for me to follow along with you guys. So I'm excited to see.
It's also going to be fun. I get to compete against my 2 old teammates, Henry Neibauer and Nolan Skiba, as they're at Parkside. So I might end up wrestling Henry because he's wrestling 49 right now. So might end up wrestling him in college, which will probably be pretty fun. So
I agree. Thank you, Cash. Thanks for stopping in. Thank you. Congratulations again on the commitment.
Congrats, thank you guys.
See you, boss.
Heck yeah.
Hey, two guys, not 1, but 2. That's pretty cool.
That's a big day for Minnesota State or University. That's big. That's big time. Moorhead.
Well, I think Minnesota, because there's Minnesota State Mankato and the Minnesota State. Is it Minnesota State Moorhead? Yeah. So you got to be specific there. But I think, Cash is a character too. He's it's fun listening to him talk. He's a little bit of a character.
Dude, that freaking wrestling room's lights out. Damn. Seeing the transformation of rooms over the past couple of years, just from when we were in high school, it's insane. Like Kettle Moraine, like their rooms.
These high school rooms are nicer than, the WIAC. They need to give some money to their wrestling programs because they've had dang good wrestling programs, and the rooms aren't terrible. Some of them are better than others, but maybe UWL deserves national runner-up. Maybe they have a nice room. Maybe they deserve another thing, a new room. Same with so some of these teams like Whitewater, they got that big square of a room. Let's give them something. Let's step it up. So these high school teams are starting to outdo them.
Dude, 4 mats for a high school program is nuts. That's insane.
Kekana, Hortonville, Casco. Again, all by the freaking possible UWGB.
Dude, if you guys haven't seen that interview with Josh Moon, that guy's got it figured out. He's had a tremendous track record of building and elevating sports at all the universities he's been at. And I think they could I think they've got the right plan in place. It seems like they've got the
they're
group
ready
of people.
to go.
Yes,
they just need the money. It sounds like they just need the money, and everything else is ready to go. That's
it's insane. And man, what a great! That's great area, and like you said, those rooms, the fans. That is a very passionate area of the state for wrestling, and I think it'd be just a really easy transition to have a program. And it's crazy. They're one of the few UW programs, if the only one. They're making those adjustments. It was interesting that he talked about how they hired I think it was women's basketball. They had a losing record or not a very good team, and they took the gamble and they hired a person that had no college coaching experience but with a really good analysis, and within a year they're winning record national qualifier. So it's like you said, they're not afraid to take risks, and this is the time to do it, and there's going to be no waiting. So hopefully, guys like in this area, we saw Newbert just commit 2 more guys today that are from that area. Green Bay.
I know. I was just thinking that too. It's like those are the type of guys that maybe they don't get like that national D1 recruiting type of those 2 guys are type of guys where if you're W Green Bay and they're in your own backyard, like you're definitely giving them a phone call.
Oh yeah, 100%. But man, that was exciting. Very good stuff. Let's jump back into some Division I stuff. Oh, we gotta get off of that right here.
Talk about exception.
Went through 125. We'll take a peek here at 133 if it loads up. This is a bracket that I'm very excited for. Dude, kind of crazy that it's all freshmen. And it's nuts that you got Fugit returning AA. He's down at the 16. Not a great spot in the bracket. You're going to be a fall anywhere.
Where does that put him with?
Puts him with the 17, and then he wins that. He's got Jack's Forest.
Jax. Yeah, Jack's Forest. Yeah, that's what I thought.
So, I mean, I think that he would be a guy that could go on that backside run. He's done it well. He made the semis last year. Some of these guys just perform well under the lights, the big stage.
So I don't know that anybody's. It's very possible that Jack's Forest could lose, but I don't know that anybody's picking Jack's Forest to lose unless you're like picking Marcus Blaze, I guess. But like Jack's Forest is just unreal, and I do feel like his way he attacks all the time is something that could like. And I'm not going to pick Zan over Jax. But like the way he's always attacking could play into helping Fugit. Because Fugit can wrestle through positions, and he's really great when someone comes at him. I think he's better at that than he is when he goes at somebody else. Not saying he's not good there. You have to be good there if you're going to obviously be on the podium. You got to be able to go get your own takedowns. But I do think he's very elite at people handling pressure of people coming towards him. I think that's how he made that adjustment previously to beat Drake Ayala. I know he lost the most recent time, but I think he into the upset. No, but I do think it's certainly a match to watch, and I think a lot of people probably think that just with the fact that he's 4th in the nation, but last year, but just adding some fuel to that fire. What's his backside path going to look like then? Does he, if he were to lose to Forrest?
So if he loses at 179, put him down here with the loser of 180, and the loser of 180 would be, I mean, your 8 or your 9. Well, yeah, you have Barker of NIU. I mean, his backside, I think, will be fine because, I mean, Davino's going to be deep into the semis. Bird would probably drop down at 348, which would put him. It looks like, well, Bird would be the guy that he would probably wrestle in the consies on the backside.
And like the blood round?
Loser of 564. He would wrestle him. No, not in the blood round. 347 would be. Ooh, the blood round could be Ayala or Blaze.
I would hope it's. I mean, I don't think Marcus Blaze loses to Drake Ayala. I hope for us that it's Ayala because I know he lost to him several times, but I think he's much more likely to beat Drake Ayala again.
Yeah.
Than to beat a Marcus Blaze. I kind of think it's going to be like Davino Blaze or Jax Forrest as your finalists.
Who do you think wins it?
Jax Forrest.
I would say that as well.
He's on my team.
Really? Yeah, that's a good guy to have.
I was the 8th pick. He was my first round pick in the A spot.
Fun bracket though. Davino and Blaze, both matches, ultimate tiebreakers. That Davino sit turn in is just so elite. It's insane that he can do that. You can't. It's nuts.
Yeah, Davino's. I like watching him wrestle, and I personally hope he beats Marcus Blaze. I have no.
Oh, I want Forrest Davino bad.
Yeah, I have no ill will or anything towards it. I don't know any of these people. I like watching Davino wrestle, and I think the Forrest Davino final would. That'd be a good
But
one.
Forrest has got to get through Seidel, who only beat by a point.
Next
interesting.
time.
I mean, it's crazy that's a real possibility.
I know.
It's nuts. I mean, he texts Larkin, who was unbeaten. It's insane. 141 pounds. There is no Wisconsin ties in this one, so we can keep this one quick. But Mendez is the one undefeated in the race for the Hodge, Oklahoma State. It'd probably be a Vega Hardy semifinal, and Shaminda is very tough. That would be a semifinal with Mendez.
Chimendia, I think.
Just quick thoughts, and who do you think comes on top of this one?
Jesse Mendez. I think he's going to bonus point his way to the finals, and then whatever happens in the finals, I don't know, but he's going to win.
I would agree with that. Man, this thing is slow today.
He's a beast.
$149.
This is a good one.
It's a very good one.
Here.
Zargo comes in at, let me find him. He's the 13, I think. There's so many names. 13.
I see him. Up right there.
Chance Lamuska.
I know. So call me crazy here. I don't want to be like too bullish or anything on someone just because he's a Wisconsin Tide guy, but also I'm sure the video of my face right now is super flattering, but I'm trying to see. Zargo, I don't hate the spot he's in. Yeah, the 4 seed Virginia Tech as a gauge.
Yeah, but he's got 8 losses, dude. Like,
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like where he's at in the bracket is I'd rather him be where he's at than with anybody else in the bracket. I genuinely think there's a path for Joe Zargo to make the semifinals.
I'd agree with that. I would agree with that.
He has to be wrestling the best version, which we've seen a couple times, but the best version of Joe Zargo. His pace and his attacks obviously have to be crisp, but like, you're gonna know early how well Joe Zargo's wrestling in each match with how many times he can just touch the leg early. Doesn't mean he has to finish them right away because those can come in the third period. But how much is he able to touch that leg early in any of these matches? Carter Young, you just gotta hope. Like I'd rather him have to wrestle Booskins than Carter Young again. Carter Young is kind of taking it to him both times a little bit. I like the new face of Coy Booskins, who is very good, by the way, and is excellent in the neutral game. But yes, I do think there is a legit path for Zargo to make the semifinals. Obviously, easier said than done. He's the 13th seed, so it's not like you're picking him as the favorite. But if he makes it, I'm not shocked.
I would agree with that. I think he's in a good spot. I think overall, Van Ness comes out on top. He's been looking good. But, man, he does go down early in a lot of his matches. But he's on top of this one. Joe Zargo.
That'd be something. I think it's probably Van Ness. Yeah, I mean, a guy like Van Ness does start. What if the semifinal was Zargo, Van Ness, and Van Ness always puts the pace on people to come back, and you just can't put the pace on Joe Zargo, and he doesn't come back? Ha! How about that?
And then Jackson Joy in the finals.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Be...
What is it? Well, if he loses in the quarters or semis, I was curious, where does he stand with trying to then make the podium? If he loses in the quarters, he gets put into the blood round right away. So his blood round, I don't.
He would fall to 354. And 201 or 202. 201 or 202. He would have either a Valencia or a Styles or a Joy or a Block. It would be the loser of those two matches would then
I
wrestle
would
back
take
into
any
the
of those.
Bloods.
That would be his blood round if he made the quarters.
Yep.
There's a real path for Joe Zarco to stand on the podium.
Which I'm
Any
thinking
of those.
Styles over Valencia, and I'm thinking Joy over Block, so it would be the winner of Block and Valencia.
And he's beaten Ryder Block already. I don't think Valencia is like Ryder Block probably beats Valencia.
Yeah.
Man, there's a real path. If he makes the quarters, then you got to win one of two matches. If you make the quarterfinals, you got to win one of those ones. You got to win that one, or you got to win the first one on the backside, and you're an All-American. There's a real path for him to be an All-American.
I would agree with that. 157. Duke is your 1 seed. Another freshman. So many freshmen. Antrell Taylor, the returning champ, is the 2.
I
Shapiro
do
is the
not
3.
think the 1 seed wins the national title here, by the way.
Ooh. Well, Wisconsin native Luke Meckler sits as a 17 seed. He opens up with Cale Swenson. Winner of that would take on Duke.
SDSU guy, right?
Yep. Cale Swenson, SDSU. Also in the bracket is your 28 seed returning All-American out of NDSU is Gavin Drexler. He opens up with a very tough Landon Robidoux. Not a fun first-round match. Right below that, you've got the 21 seed Charlie Millard out of Minnesota. He's taking on the 12 seed Vinny Zerbin out of Iowa State. Very tough. It'll be a fun first-round matchup.
Yeah.
Also, we've got in that, from my quick look, it'd be interesting if, Charlie takes out Zerbin. He'll probably have Robidoux. He's already beaten Drexler this year. But all the Wisconsin guys on that top half. Quick thoughts and champ pick.
I sadly think Robidoux is going to take out both Wisconsin guys.
Yeah. That dude's so tough.
He's so good. This is, I think your finals is going to be, I'm bullish on him because he's on my team, but I also think he's really good. That's why he's on my team.
Who's on
Caleb Larkin takes out PJ Duke in the semifinals.
Whoa.
Taking out Landon Robidoux.
Whoa, bold
He did beat
move.
Robidoux earlier this year. I think he's so good, and if he's wrestling his best, there's nobody in this field that can beat him in his best version. Well, not that they can't beat him, but I think he beats PJ Duke. Bottom side, it's watch out for Kanan Webster.
Tough dude, yeah.
Watch out for Kanan Webster. I could see him taking out Antrell Taylor in the quarters, and then I think Myra Shapiro comes out on that top half to wrestle either Taylor or Webster. It'll be a combination of those three to make the finals. What do you got?
Boring, but I got Duke Taylor in the finals, and I think it's going to be a fire match. But I got Duke. Duke looked so good in the Big Ten finals. So explosive, so dynamic.
He's so good. I'm taking the upset for sure. I understand that he's the favorite.
But Duke's got to go on a run. I mean, you're gonna have to take out a couple really tough individuals en route to that. Take out a hot Larkin, but man, if he did what he did 2 weeks ago, it'd be hard to take that guy out.
Yeah.
So you got a Larkin Taylor final. Who do you pick? Who do you think wins?
I don't know. Watch out for Kanan Webster, man. Yeah, Antrell Taylor. Shapiro. I don't know. Maybe Shapiro. If he's healthy, watch out for him.
So who do you think wins?
That would be the ultimate final. Larkin Shapiro. Now did you watch their match earlier this year at Cornell?
Chaos.
That's the final I want to see happen because that would be the most exciting final of the tournament.
Nuts. It'd be
the exchanges that would happen. As a fan, that's the final I want to see happen. It'd be so fun. I could see a PJ Duke final. Like I could see PJ Duke just winning every match, very controlled. But then like the finals match again, just controlled and just like kind of boring.
So who do you think wins the bracket?
I don't know. I'll go PJ Duke probably, but I want to be different, and I'm picking Caleb Larkin.
Definitely,
I'm just gonna pick my fantasy team because I need them to do well. I need them to do well.
Oh my God!
Oh, it was my. Hey, did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, it's my ankle.
How's that even
Oh,
possible?
bad boy hours. We gotta hurt ourselves.
Messenbrink as the 1 seed. He will take on the winner of Wisconsin native Braden Scholes or Patty Gallagher. That will be a really fun
That's
first
a
round match.
huge first round match for backside purposes. The path to have to go of the potential path of having to go through that if you lose your first round match for Gallagher and Scholes versus if you get to go to the next round against Messenbrink is completely different. So winning that match for Scholes, I think he's banged up too.
Yeah.
But he's always banged up. He is one tough guy. Winning that first round match is gonna be big.
Very massive.
Mm-hmm.
You got Scholes and Gallagher. Then just a little bit further down the bracket, you got your 8 seed returning All-American Matty Bianchi. He takes on Mac Church.
Yeah, that bums me out too that he's gonna wrestle Messenbrink.
Yeah.
He's early. It's like Mitchell's second. I guess quarterfinal, right?
Mitchell would potentially have to run through to get to the semis to Wisconsin people.
Yes. Mitchell will have somebody get placed in the bracket from the pigtail. Isn't there a pigtail?
Oh yeah, that's true. Ladarian Lockett is your 5. He's taking on 28 seed Cody Gable. Then you've got Noah Mulvaney is your 19, taking on
Cody
Andrew
Gable tosses
Barbosa.
Darian Lockett to win. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Dreamers can dream. Yeah, that'd be nuts. Hit a little
Right.
Ramos on the edge, a little let drop.
Pins him.
So that is your Wisconsin matchups and places in the bracket. I think we can both agree that Messenbrink is the favorite here and will win the bracket, but it'll be interesting. Couple of Wisconsin matchups there.
I'm hoping Matty then is able to navigate his way back onto the podium. I think Braden's a podium threat, but I don't know what level of health his body is at. I was seeing some stuff online.
Yeah, it's been all over Twitter.
Yeah, and he's got that big knee brace on and stuff. So
surprised he didn't take it off for the picture. All the
I'm assuming he's banged up. He don't give a crap. I'm sure of it.
But 174 pounds. We've got Haynes as your 1. Browse through here for our Wisconsin ties. We've got
Condon.
Condon. Where's Condon? 74. Oh, he's got the wrestling. That's why.
Was he in the pigtail? The prelim?
Yep. He's got Dell. And then he would wrestle Haynes. So
yes, and then Levi Haynes.
So
Condon making it to the national tournament was kind of like Cody making it again to the national tournament. It was from now they're playing with house money, so
just go out there and let it fly.
Yeah, let it fly. It's house money now.
I've got Haynes. Who do you think wins it?
The bracket, Levi Haynes as well. Yeah. I agree. I think he's one of the guys that's a heavier favorite.
84 is going to be a fun one. Really excited for this one. Welsh, undefeated 1 seed, sitting up top. And then Aiden Sinclair is the 2. He is 30-1 on the season with 1 loss to Ferrari, who he will most likely face in the quarterfinals. That went to ultimate tiebreakers, was deciding on like 2 seconds of riding time for Ferrari. Ferrari is the 7, defaulted out of Big Tens after he lost to Welsh in a crazy match. Welsh, these guys just exchanging overtime matches.
Welsh has to have the most fortunate 1 seed draw of anybody because he's going to have to beat one guy of these other 3 to win his bracket.
Yeah, I
mean, 3 guys that push him, and they're all in the bottom half. And all 3 of those guys, very, very, very possible could beat him. I mean, they went to tiebreakers both times where he won. It's like, and he didn't wrestle the other one. So it's talk about night's draw. Who do they have to slip money to on this one to put Rocco Welsh as the lone 1 seed and avoid everybody else?
Yeah, your 4 is James Conway, 32-2 out of Franklin and Marshall, which that definitely helps his schedule. McAnally's a 3. Sinclair's beaten McAnally in folk style. They split in freestyle. Kind of a convincing win in folk styles at the national duels. And then Sinclair's loss to Ferrari was also at the national duels. So
Well, he put on that whole. He wrote him up the whole second period. That was
Yeah.
not. There's going to be adjustments on that. I'm not anticipating Aiden to ride him out for the entire period again. I just don't see that happening.
no, but Aiden has. It's crazy. I don't know if you saw the stat. Aiden hasn't given up a takedown this year.
Yeah,
That's
I saw
nuts.
that.
It's insane.
Yet he lost.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
every match that Ferrari's in, there's like no takedowns. That's kind of the name of the game. But I think we're going to see a Sinclair and Ferrari quarterfinal. I think Sinclair gets the job done. And then that would set up a Sinclair McAnally semi, which I think Sinclair also gets it done. And then, shocker, I'm taking Sinclair in the finals. I just think his ability to scramble, push the pace, and get to the legs and create action. And I think when he creates those wrestling positions,
Mizzou Tiger.
well, it's not crazy. There's a lot of people picking Sinclair. I just don't think that these like Welsh isn't sure but like McAnally really questionable. I mean, the whole reaction time Big Ten final thing, but I just think Aiden's just got too much potential to score.
I thought McAnally beat Welsh.
Yeah, that was crazy. That whole sequence.
Yeah, the mat return. I'm like, oh, okay, takedown.
Who do you think comes out on this bracket?
Well, I'll tell you who's got the worst odds is probably Sinclair because of who he has to go through. So if you're a betting man, which I know there's odds out on the NCAA tournament, I would go ahead and I almost said it. I would go ahead and put money on Sinclair. 1, because I want him to win. 2, because I know he can win. And 3, because I'm going to pick him to win.
Hey, there we go.
If Sinclair's a 2 seed. He has the toughest road to win the tournament. I don't care. I'm still picking him. He's freaking Aiden Sinclair. He's a friend of ours. He wrestles at Missouri. He's from Wisconsin. He's the 2 seed. I'm still picking him. I don't care what his road looks like. But he does have probably one of the worst paths to win a national title. Like, his odds are not great because, yeah, you got to beat one of them, sure. Like, Rock Welsh has to beat one of them. It's like, that doesn't seem so bad. You got to beat 3 of them.
Running the gauntlet.
Sucks. Like, that sucks, dude.
It's going to be a good run. I'm excited to watch.
Darn right it's going to be a good run.
97 multiple Wisconsin ties in this bracket. Bar, undefeated 1 seed. Elam, the 2 seed. Take a look at the Wisconsin. Yes, former Mizzou Tiger. I'll tell you, the most difficult person to wrestle ever in the history of wrestling. The dude's so long. You can't. It's impossible to get to his legs. That post is just nuts. But Wide Ingham, the 20 seed, opens up with Bennett Berge.
Yep.
We kind of talked about that quad earlier. Hawks and Sasso sit below. If he can get through Berge, he'd have the winner of that, and then the quarters would beat Novak. Devin Wasley opens up with Camden McDaniel, the Big Ten runner-up out of Nebraska. What are we thinking at this weight? I know we kind of discussed a little bit earlier, but your thoughts?
I think Ingham's the guy for us to watch. I think Rule and Wasley.
Yes, and Rule's also in the mix here.
Yeah, Chattanooga. I think those guys, like, great job making it. I just think of the 3, Wyatt Ingham's the one that's going to have the potential to make a run. I don't know what his backside path turns into, though. Do you? Do you able to kind of
145 or 238? 145, 238. Well, if he loses first round, he then have the loser 239. So that'd probably be either Solers or Lemon, which I would say are both winnable matches. If he makes it to 238, he would drop down to here, and then he would wrestle 237. Ooh. If he wins his first match, he almost has a tougher backside match. He would have the loser of Novak and Giog. If he loses the first round, he would then wrestle the loser of like Lemon or Solers through the 1914 or like a Rule or something. So
I had a coach at Folk South State this year that saw the brackets, one of his guys, and he goes, I have never been. He comes up to me and he's like, I've never been so mad of my guy winning a match than right now. Because winning that match, now he has to wrestle somebody where it's like super, super, super good to make the podium in the blood round versus the other way would have just been a guy that he's beat.
Yeah.
But he was like, and then that guy did lose in the blood round. He's like, he would have been on the podium. And he's like, I've never been so mad that he won that match. He's like, I'm really happy he won. But man, did his backside just get way tougher.
Yeah, that's it's always interesting that when that happens. But what are we thinking here? Overall champ, I would say it's between Barr and Elam.
Well, Stephen Little Elam will be a good one. I think this one kind of goes to chalk with the top three for sure. I'm going Josh Barr though. Still, he's very good, very good.
I would
Heavyweight's
agree
gonna
with
be fun. I know Younger's the one. I think there's like 4 or 5 guys that can win this bracket at least. Like heavyweight, and people are very high on Trumbull. I've been hearing people talk a lot about Trumbull. I don't think he's like some lock to come out of the bottom half.
No, I feel like this bracket is just chaos. Bastida,
Yeah.
undefeated, 1 seed. Trumbull, undefeated, 2 seed. Gaialdi out of Michigan is your Big Ten champ. He is the 3 seed. Ferrari is the 4. In terms of our Wisconsin natives, Cole Mirasola sits as the 9. He opens up with Connor Barquette of Duke.
Mm-hmm.
If he wins that, he would have Keeter, who is the 8
1-1
seed.
against.
He's 1-1. If he gets through that, hello, younger Bastida.
I want that match.
I would love to see that match.
I want Cole Mirasola versus Younger Bastida. Cole can Bastida obviously super good, but he's not like one of those massive heavyweights.
Yeah.
So I think that plays into Cole's favor.
And I think also the Bastida's willingness to attack also plays into Cole. A lot of these heavyweights shut down. They're big. They slow Cole down. He can't get underneath. But like Bastida, like he's not afraid to go out there and wrestle, and I think that plays into Cole's scrambling abilities.
I don't
Braxt-
think it's even the scram. I think it's the reattacks.
Yes, but just the overall
And
getting
also,
in positions.
I could be wrong, but I don't think Bastida's like some super heavyweight. Like he's not like a Braxton Amos type.
He's like probably a 250.
Right, so like Cole can shoot under him.
Yeah.
Like he can shoot a single leg under him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really need him to beat Ben Keeter because I don't think Ben Keeter beats Younger Bastida, but I think
No.
Cole Mirasola can beat Younger Bastida.
I'd agree with that. Braxton Amos is the 12. He opens up with Juan Mora of Oklahoma. If he wins that, he would take on Feldman in the second round, which that was a looking like to be a win for Amos until that late shot by Feldman.
It's like one of 4 matches where it looked like they were going to be wins for Amos this year, and he didn't win any of them.
Yeah.
He needs to close out his matches, but if he does that, he can beat Feldman. He can beat Bastida. He now has lost to Cole twice. Cole seems to be the one that actually kind of had he moves. Cole moves just better. Seems to starting to be getting his number. But like Bastida and Feldman, Amos certainly can beat them.
Yeah. So if Amos wins that, Feldman and then Ferrari would be that quarterfinal if he makes it through that. Wisconsin native Coy Hopke is your 14. He opens up with the 19 seed out of Drexel, and then if he wins that, he would take on the Big Ten champ and the 3 seed Gaialdi of Michigan.
Where does his backside put him if he loses? Because I don't think he beats Gaialdi.
If he loses at 247, that would put him at 247 puts him here. That'd be 248 or 377 he'd have to get through. 248 would be the loser of Taylor, Katka, Dawson, or Tinker, which could make that happen.
Katka
And then, and then if it gets to that point, 377 would be the blood round. The blood round would be between Keeter, Mirasola. Yeah, because it'd be Keeter or Mirasola would be the loser. It'd essentially be the loser of Bastida, Keeter, or Mirasola.
Bastida, Keeter, okay, got it. Well, we know one thing's for certain.
Mirasola Hopke ain't happening. The wrestling gods. So
if Hopke loses, we need him to win, and then Cole just has to keep winning because if they get to that point, then you know that Mirasola will win. That'll be the, of course, that's when the match will happen is when they take each other out on the backside of a bracket. But
Yeah, that's just the first time you guys wrestle. It's the blood around the national tournament.
Coy doesn't have a great draw. I think his backside's the matches are gonna get tough potentially if he wins first and then loses.
Dude, I feel like heavyweight. It doesn't matter where you are. It's just so low.
Yeah, because you're gonna run into one or two of these guys for sure, whether it's the
Yeah.
front or the backside. Because there's so many. Amos is down at the 12 seed, Cole's the 9. Yeah, there is. That's a good point. They're kind of just everywhere because it's so deep.
And you've got like a Christian Carroll who's beaten Cole. He's an 18. You've got Luke Luffman who's had big wins. He's a 26.
And
Cat
Hockey beat Carroll, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
So yeah, this is a bracket that's just it's gonna be fun to watch the entirety of and see how it shakes out. Trying to predict this one would be insane.
Duchette and Luffman. That's a kind of a fun first round match. But yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. But well, the question is, who do you think comes out of heavyweight? We didn't pick that.
Cole Mirasola. He's on my fantasy team. I don't know. I don't want to pick heavyweight. There's too many options.
Not gonna pick it.
Who are you picking?
I'm gonna go with Trumbull.
I feel like that's a safer bet than picking anybody on the top half.
I think Trumbull is big and he can actually wrestle. Like he's really
97 before he was a heavyweight.
Yep. And then he kind of he made the U23 Worlds. I think he might have won it, and he kind of really popped off these past couple of years. And he's really filled in. He's tall, and he's a big dude.
He's a good pick. He's a good pick.
So I'll just leave that spot blank for you.
It probably will be Trumbull.
But dude, from quarterfinals or from the second round on, it's just going to be fireworks.
Yeah, the whole bracket's just gonna be really fun to watch. Don't go away for the heavyweights, that's for sure.
But action kicks off tomorrow at 11 a.m. I think they've got the multi-view Matt Cass on ESPN, and they've got all sorts of options. So there's no shortage of ways to watch it. We got some stuff coming out today on the tournament, but excited to watch everything unfold. Go Wisconsin. Go Wisconsin natives. Anything else for us? We've got April 17th and 18th. We've got the duels in the open. We'll get some stuff out on socials for that. Make sure to sign up. That will be a great weekend of wrestling. But that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Okay. Well, we thank you guys for tuning in. Happy Nationals, and we'll see you guys next time.